Brother, you are doing everything right. You're hitting the gym, you're eating clean, you're grinding hard, but your gains are stalling. But what if I told you the problem isn't your training, it's your water? Today I'm exposing how government-approved additives, PFAS, and drugs in your tap water are secretly sabotaging your testosterone, your recovery, and your overall future as a male. So with that, let's break them down, starting with government additives. Now, the government adds chlorine and fluoride for our health. But just like they disinfect pools with chlorine, the government disinfects our water with chlorine. So they add chlorine to kill bad bacteria. And they add fluoride for our teeth health, but there's a lot of evidence that shows that fluoride is more harmful than helpful. So let's dive into these negative side effects. Now, chlorine damages your gut microbiome. It kills beneficial gut bacteria when you ingest it, and your gut bacteria is what absorbs the nutrients from your food. So if you don't have this dialed in, you're not getting all your nutrients. And the nutrients is what repairs your muscles after your workout. So when you're working out, you're tearing muscle fibers, and then your muscles build back stronger overnight. But they need nutrients to do that. So if you don't have the building blocks for your muscles, they're not going to build back stronger, and you're just going to be sore all day. Now, it works the same for a caloric deficit. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to be absorbing all these nutrients, because when you get these nutrients, that's what signals to your brain that you're full and you can stop eating. So it's just like when you eat a whole bag of chips, you can eat a whole bag of chips and still feel hungry because you haven't got all your micronutrients, and your body's saying, hey, I need more food, I need more nutrients, and it's going to keep telling you it's hungry until it gets all those micronutrients. Now, this also leads to poor digestion, and it makes you feel twice as hungry, which is just crazy. So if you need to be gaining weight or losing weight, both are important to avoid chlorine. Now, chlorine is also a hormone disruptor, and it disrupts your hormones through your thyroid. And your thyroid is what regulates your metabolism, and your metabolism is what regulates how quick or slow you burn fat. Now, chlorine interferes with iodine absorption, affecting your thyroid function. So your thyroid needs iodine to create T3 and T4, and these are essential for thyroid hormones. In fact, T3 and T4 are the exact medications doctors give to patients when they have slow thyroids. So with that, let's get into fluoride, because it gets even crazier. Because fluoride has been proven to lower IQ. Fluoride exposure in the US has been known to lower IQ since the 1960s, but the government hasn't admitted it up until this last year. So everyone has known about it, but the government would always say, no, it's not that damaging. But even this last year, our health department said that, yeah, fluoride lowers IQ. So that's not the worst of it. It's also a hormone disruptor affecting your thyroid. So it also does the same thing. It messes with your thyroid, slowing down your metabolism, making it harder to burn fat. So if you're trying to get shredded, you absolutely need to be avoiding fluoride. Now, let's get over here and get into the PFAS. Now, what are PFAS? You may have heard of them as forever chemicals because they don't break down naturally. These are chemicals that literally last forever. They accumulate in the human body over time, and they have half-lives as high as 10 years. Now, a half-life is how long it takes to get out of your body and stop affecting your health. So imagine that. You drink a PFAS, it stays with you for 10 years. And many of you guys drink tap water every day. So every day you're restarting that 10 years that those PFAS are affecting your health. And just wait till I get into the negative side effects of PFAS. But first, let's start off where they come from. So these PFAS come from manufacturing of nonstick cookware, food packages, and stain-resistant clothes. They're basically made to wick water off and be an anti-stick agent. Now, when these factories are done making the PFAS, any extra waste chemicals, they just dump into the river, and then this gets into your tap water. It's all over. PFAS have been found in the North Pole and in Antarctica when they drilled for ice. So they're absolutely everywhere because, like I said, these things don't go away. They don't biodegrade. They're forever. Now, many think that the government filtration systems can take out these chemicals, but that's not the case. All government filtration systems do is take out large sewage like poop and toilet paper, then they throw some chlorine in the water to disinfect it, and then they send it to you right back up the tap. So the health risk of all these PFAS is crazy. It's led to cancer in the kidney, testicles, and liver. Now, the liver damage increases cholesterol, an enzyme that changes when you spike your insulin. And your insulin is what signals your body to hold on to fat. And PFAS, they're also a hormone disruptor. So they also mess with your thyroid hormones. And they don't just disrupt your thyroid hormone, they also disrupt your estrogen because they mimic estrogen. So it makes your body think you have more estrogen than you actually do. Now, this leads to increased breast tissue in men, giving the men the famous bitch tits look. It also lowers your testosterone, which has been proven to reduce your sperm quality and cause infertility. Now, there's absolutely no safe levels of these PFAS. Like the EPA themselves have now warned that you should ingest no PFAS, yet they're in 100% of water and they're never going to go away. And many PFAS remain unregulated. Like they create new ones every day. These companies that make these non-stick chemicals, they're creating new ones every day. So even if the government passes a law banning a certain chemical, they'll just make a new one to skirt these laws. Pretty crazy, I know. But that's not even the wildest part, because I bet you didn't know that there are drugs in your water, both recreational and pharmaceutical. But I'm mainly going to focus on the pharmaceutical here because that's what's most prevalent in your tap water. Now, everything that is flushed down your toilet comes right back to you up the tap, and this includes drugs. Now, again, government filtration systems don't remove anything from your water. They just filter out the large sewage, they add some chlorine to sanitize it, and then they send it right back to you. Now, 50 million Americans are on antidepressants. So you're taking antidepressants when you drink tap water. And negative side effects of antidepressants include weight gain, sexual dysfunction, reduced libido, and difficulty achieving orgasm. It also has emotional blunting, and emotional blunting is like numbness or like brain fog, like internalness. And this just makes you unable to experience any pleasure, nuking your dopamine. And even certain antidepressants like SSRIs and SNRIs increase the risk of your gastrointestinal problems. And this leads to excessive sweating and night tremors. Antidepressants can trigger more severe reactions, such as serotonin syndrome. Like I said, it messes with your dopamine. It's literally called an antidepressant. And if you've ever heard one of those antidepressant commercials, what do they say? May cause suicidal thoughts or the act of suicide. Do you want to be taking that? It's crazy. Now, if you think that's bad, let's get into the birth control in your water. Now, there are 14 million girls in the US that are on birth control. And birth control is a major hormone disruptor. It's literally synthetic estrogen, while it also throws off your thyroid. I'm sure you're seeing a common thing here. Now, the worst effect is on your testosterone. The birth control lowers your testosterone levels, reduces sperm quality, and is also a major catalyst for gynecomastia, or bitch tits, just like the estrogen in the PFAS do. So let's bring this all together. I'm sure you've noticed a common theme between all of these three things: the PFAS, the government additives, and the drugs. And what is that? They are all hormone disruptors, all three of them. So they're making like a trinity of hormone disruptors in your body. So they're absolutely nuking your testosterone and nuking your thyroid. So you're putting in all this work in the gym, you're dialed in with your diet, and then you destroy all that by just drinking water. And I see so many gym bros do this. Like they're walking in the gym, they're all serious about their gains with their bag full of supplements and all their new lifting equipment. But then they go over to the water fountain and fill up their microplastic blender bottle with tap water, and they're absolutely nuking their testosterone that way. So you may be thinking that, what, is it just all over for me? Am I done? And no, you have two options. You can get a reverse osmosis filter, or you can get a water distiller. Now, there are two major differences between the two. I started with a water distiller, and a water distiller is great. It takes out absolutely all the toxins. You put water in it, let's say a bucket, and then it heats the water, it boils the water from the bottom, turns it into vapor or steam, and then the vapor drips out a pole on the other side. You're literally getting 100% water because it's burning off the water, and everything that's not water stays on the bottom of your distiller. Now, the negative of a distiller is it takes forever. My water distiller would take a whole 4 hours to probably do 1.5 liters of water. 4 hours of just boiling water, turning a fan to make vapor, then turn it into distilled water. That's when I transitioned into a reverse osmosis filter. And now a reverse osmosis filter has been life-changing for me. My reverse osmosis filter, it filters the same amount of water as my water distiller, but it takes only 15 minutes. And it's so much nicer because I use my water filter around 6 times every day. So imagine before, there was literally one point where I had 2 water distillers because I had to keep up with my water production. It was actually pretty crazy what our energy bill looked like when I was doing that. Now, I know one thing that people talk about when it comes to these filters is price. And it's pretty crazy how people prioritize this in their minds because a new iPhone is like $1,000 and people will gladly pay that for an iPhone. And a new pair of Jordans is like $250. People will gladly pay that for shoes that have no effect on their health. In fact, they're actually making your feet worse, but yet they don't want to invest in a filter that's going to affect their testosterone positively for the rest of their life. But a water distiller on Amazon, you can find the cheapest one for like $100. That's the one that I bought first. To be honest with you, it was a piece of crap. The thing would leak. Like I said, it would take forever. After using it 3 times, you would have to descale the inside of the water filter and then run the distiller for a cleaning cycle. So after you use it 3 times, then you have to clean it, boil a bunch of water. And because what happens is all the minerals that are left behind and all the toxins, they actually cake to the bottom of the distiller because the distiller's hot and it just burns on the bottom. So then you have to clean it. It's just a whole mess. I would just save your time and get a reverse osmosis filter. I have a coupon code for $100 off. I'll leave that in the description of the video. I have an AquaTrue, and that's been a lifesaver for me. It comes with 3 filters. So it comes with a carbon filter, a reverse osmosis filter, and then another carbon filter. And if you have a Brita or you're familiar with a Brita or a fridge filter, all that is just a carbon filter. So that just takes out a little bit of chlorine and nothing else. Maybe some large sediment, but that's about it. It's the reverse osmosis filter that you need to take out all the pharmaceuticals, all the PFAS, all the chlorine, and all the fluoride. And the 2 carbon filters on my AquaTrue have lasted a year, and then we had to replace them. And then the reverse osmosis filter has lasted a little over a year and a half, and it's supposed to last 2 to 3 years. So it's definitely worth the money. It's improved my health a lot. You don't want to be making your test, your thyroid function, and your dopamine consuming this junk tap water. And now there aren't any excuses for you because the last thing you can do is you can go to a store like Kroger or Walmart and they have reverse osmosis water stations there. You can get a whole jug of water for $1. You can get like a little gallon of water for like 50 cents. So there are absolutely no excuses for you to be drinking dirty water. And the thing is, I get the excuse when it comes to eating healthy because processed food blows up your dopamine. It makes you feel good. You want to eat more of it. It's literally scientifically created to increase your dopamine and get you addicted to it. But with water, it's the exact opposite. Like tap water literally has chlorine in it. It tastes like a pool. It smells like a pool. It's the easiest health change you can make because you're going to drink water every day anyways. Why not drink clean water? And the filtered water is going to taste better than your tap water. So it's going to be easier and more enjoyable to drink. So why not just drink filtered water? There's literally no excuse not to drink filtered water. And now there are plenty more toxins that are nuking your test. And in my one-on-one coaching, I flush out all of these for you. So nothing is nuking your test and wasting your time in the gym. And you're able to make the most gains possible. So if you're serious about maximizing your time in the gym, you can schedule a one-on-one coaching qualification call with me using the link in the description. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I can't wait to answer them for you. Gym Tan Beef out.